Greetings all. Welcome to the Second Episcopal District Women's Missionary Society Minutes Preparation Presentation. Today we have with us the secretaries of the Second Episcopal District. Our recording secretary, Sister
Tina McNair.
Our assistant recording secretary, Sister
Diane Graham.
And our corresponding secretary,
Wanda Wilson.
And I am Margaret Smith-Perkins, the Parliamentarian for the Washington Conference Branch Missionary Society.
This workshop is designed to present the guidelines for taking minutes. The recording secretary and the assistant recording secretary are the target audience. We welcome the corresponding secretaries too.
What do we want to accomplish with this workshop? We want you to know what minutes are, to know when minutes are taken, and to know what is included in minutes. Sister
Duties
Tina.
of the recording secretary. The qualifications and duties of a recording secretary are listed in the 2016-2020 Constitution and Bylaws of the WMS on pages 17, 37, and 44. The recording secretary shall A, maintain accurate minutes and records of all proceedings of the official meetings of the conference. B, keep an accurate updated roll of the membership of the conference. And C, send names of conference officers to the Episcopal and connectional organizations.
There are additional duties that the local secretary found on page 44, which includes serves as the custodian of all records and official papers, and keep an accurate, up-to-date roll of the local society's membership, along with the names of the officers. Next slide, please.
Sister Margaret, what are minutes?
According to Robert's Rules of Order, the 12th edition, the minutes are the official record of the proceedings of the deliberative assembly. That is your Episcopal meeting, your conference meeting, your area meeting, your local meeting. The minutes should be kept in a substantial book or binder. And in our modern world, we recommend that you keep them on a separate flash drive. The contents of the minutes. Next slide, please. Most of us are accustomed to minutes that include what happened at the meeting, including quotes from members who spoke on a subject under discussion. However, some or all of these statements are not included in the minutes. I call these documents journals. When I became the secretary of the local quarterly conference, I wrote this type of journal. However, with training and an understanding of the purpose of minutes, I no longer write all what was SAID at the meeting. There are specific items that are included in the minutes. At the Missionary Society, the minutes should contain what was done at the meeting, not what was said. Next slide, please.
The first paragraph of the minutes should include the kind of meeting: regular, special, executive board, committee, name of the organization or assembly, the Western North Carolina Conference Branch Women's Missionary Society, date and time of the meeting, place of the meeting, if it isn't always the same, that the regular chairman, president, and secretary were present, or in their absence, the names of persons who substituted for them. Whether the minutes of the previous meeting were read and approved as read or as corrected. Any corrections are made on the secretary's copy of the minutes. These corrections are not recorded and read with the next minutes. The next minutes simply states that the minutes were approved as corrected. Reminder, minutes that are distributed before the meeting electronically or by regular mail is sent with the notation draft. Sister Margaret, some of this is new to us.
And I'm sure it is. However, with practice, we will understand it and do a little differently. The contents of and the body of the minutes should contain a separate paragraph for each subject. This section includes officers, committees, and board reports. If the reports are written, the notation is that the officer read her report. The complete substance of an oral report or committee report that are permitted to be given at the meeting. When an officer makes an oral report, the secretary captures what was said. We encourage all officers and committees to have written reports. You should bring 3 copies to the meeting to be distributed to the president, the secretary, and 1 for you to read yourself. Written reports are not copied verbatim into the minutes. The minutes will reflect that all written reports are on file with the secretary. All main motions. Motions bring a question before the society. An example of such a motion would be, Madam President, I move that the society pay the assessment for 2021. Note, there is no motion, I so move. The exact wording of the motion is what is adopted. Therefore, in your minutes, you would write, it was moved that the society pay the assessment for 2021. If you wish to make a notice about a motion to be introduced at the next meeting, that will also be in this section of the minutes. Next slide, please.
The last paragraph should state the time of adjournment. For example, 8:14 p.m. Additional rules and practices relating to the contents of the minutes include the following. The name of the maker of the motion should be entered in the minutes, but the name seconder should not be entered unless ordered by the assembly. When a count was ordered, the number of votes on each side is entered. When the vote is by ballot, the full teller's report is entered. When voting is done by roll call, the names of those voting on each side is entered. For elections, the names of all officers elected are included in the minutes with their government name. Minutes can be called to court. Minutes are taken to financial institutions.
Thank you, Sister Diane. And I stress to you the importance of when you write minutes that you use the person's full government name, not Billy Joe, Sally Sue, or any other nickname that's known in the community. The signature. Minutes are signed by the secretary. The words respectively submitted represents an older practice and not necessary. However, if that is a custom or past practice that you are familiar with, then you may continue. An adopted practice used by some organizations is to show that the minutes were adopted with the date and where the minutes were corrected. And you will, okay. The minutes were adopted on November the 6th, 2021, as distributed, circle it, or as read, circle that, or with corrections. The use of a recording device can help the secretary in preparing the minutes, but should not be played back as the minutes. The roll call is not a part of the minutes, but is often included with the distribution of the minutes. The agenda for the meeting includes other headings and are often used in writing the minutes. The minutes for most of the meetings held in our missionary society will be less than 2 pages if we follow these recommended guidelines. And is that when we're going to stick the screenshot in? I'm sorry. No. We should inform you of the duties of the corresponding secretary as well. Sister Wanda, what did you find out about the corresponding secretary?
Thank you, Sister Margaret. According to the WMS Constitution and bylaws, the corresponding secretary shall conduct the necessary correspondence. This is interpreted to mean that she is responsible for issuing notices of meetings and other events. Could you please, Sister Margaret, tell us what does Robert Rules of Order say about this?
Robert states the correspondence secretary should prepare correspondence and is usually responsible for releasing notice of meetings. In some local societies, the correspondence secretary sends greeting cards on behalf of the society. The correspondence secretary is not automatically appointed or asked to perform the recording secretary's duties in her absence. A secretary pro tem is elected. And this process may seem new to you, as Sister Tina said earlier, but that's what should happen. Now that we have completed our presentation, do you have any questions, or team members, do you have some observations that you would like to impart to the rest of our audience?
Sister Margaret, I have no questions, just a comment. The video should be shown on all levels of the WMS.
Thank you, Sister Tina. Any resources? For this presentation, we use quite a few documents and booklets to help us prepare. The Constitution and bylaws for the Women's Missionary Society and Young People's Division, the 2016-2020 version. We understand that the 2020-2024 version is in print and will be distributed shortly. Please make sure that you order your copy. The Doctrine and Discipline of the AME Church, 2016, printed in 2017. Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised, the 12th edition. That edition was printed in 2020. You can find the AME documents at the AME bookstore or through your local or Episcopal district WMS. The National Association of Parliamentarians and Amazon carries Robert's Rules of Order. Thank you, Sister Celeria Moore, for asking us to prepare this presentation. It has been an honor to make this presentation for the 2nd Episcopal District's Missionary Society. I understand that it will be difficult writing what happened, motions and decisions, not all of what was said, but just work on it. And this is an example of what minutes might look like. We got it all on one page. Thank you, everyone.